partner is Steve Lyons. Garrett Austin will be joining us in just a little bit. And Steve, there's a little bit of pressure tonight on Mr. Pomeranz to follow up a little string of outstanding starts. It was David Price 2 nights ago, and last night Rick Porcello.
And I love that kind of competition within the starters because they feel it too. They know when you go out there and have a great start and it's your turn next, you got to go out there and do the same thing. And I think Pomeranz has the ability to do that. He threw the ball so much better in his last start. Still looking for his first win in a Red Sox uniform, but some interesting road numbers for him. In 4 out of his last 5 road starts, he has given up 0 earned runs. That's getting it done on the road. He's got a shot to do that tonight.
All right, so the Red Sox getting very nice starting pitching so far here in Southern California. The big lefty is on the bump tonight. And in the lineup, a couple of changes. Jackie Bradley is in the 4th spot tonight. David Ortiz is resting. When we come back, Aaron Austin will have more on that story. First time this season for JBJ batting cleanup. He'll do it against the Angels. Toyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. The 2017 Kia Sportage. Visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. By Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Subaru, retailers of New England. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. As always, the sun is shining here in Southern California. We welcome you back to Angels Stadium of Anaheim, game number 3 of the series. Time to bring in Garrett Austin with more on Jackie Bradley Jr. Got a hold of one last night, his 17th home run, Garrett.
Oh, he's been doing very well. Well, David Ortiz has the night off, so that means that Jackie Bradley Jr. is batting cleanup for the first time in the majors for him. And John Farrell said that he's been swinging the bat well, but JBJ said he couldn't believe it when he heard it.
I honestly didn't see it. One of my teammates told me, and I was like, oh yeah, stop joking, you know, this and that. And then I went by the lineup, and I actually was batting fourth, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, with the planned off day for David, I wanted to be sure we broke up the right-handers and not run a string of 4, which, you know, you look at their bullpen, it's a predominantly right-handed heavy bullpen, and, you know, Jackie is swinging about well, has swung about well all year, and to keep that continuity, keep the string of right-handers broken up, Jackie is the logical choice.
Jackie hitting .298, 62 runs batted in, tagging his 17th home run last night against Tim Lincecum in the Red Sox victory. Plenty of runs for Porcello the way Rick pitched last night. He is now 14-2 and tied for the major league lead in wins. Time to look at the Red Sox lineup, which is brought to you by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Mookie Betts will lead things off. He's in right field. Dustin Pedroia at second. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, followed by Jackie Bradley in center. Hanley Ramirez, the DH. Aaron Hill at third tonight with Travis Shaw over to first base with Hanley as the DH. Bryce Brents gets the nod in left field, hitting 8th, and Sandy Leon is the catcher, number 9 hitter against the Angels starting pitcher, presented by Buick, and that is the left-hander Hector Santiago. 9-4, a 4.28 earned run average, pitching very, very well.
Yes, he has. Let's check in on the Angels defense, brought to you by DraftKings. Around the infield, Escobar, who's a shortstop, playing at third base. Simmons at short. Giavotella second base, and Marte over at first base. Rounding out the outfield, Petit making another start in left. He's usually not out there. Trout in center. Robinson makes the start in right field today. Bandy and Santiago are your pitchers and catchers.
Here are the umpires tonight, brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. There's the veteran Joe West. Cowboy Joe behind the plate. Gave Morales one change. He's new to this crew as of tonight at first base. Andy Fletcher at second, and Mark Ripperger is the umpire at third. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory back Toyota certified used vehicle right now. Here's a look at the weather for the night. 83 degrees. Wind direction right to left at about 11 miles per hour. Almost never a factor here. It is clear. Going to be a very pretty night here for game 3 of the series. Mookie Betts climbs in, hitting .303 with 20 homers. And the first one is high for ball 1, and we are underway. Mookie has hit 5 leadoff home runs this season among his 20. Dustin Pedroia on deck.
Santiago basically a two-pitch pitcher. Fastball and a great changeup. Will throw a slider and curve.
Had some fireworks before the game, so it feels a little smoky here at the Big A as we get underway. And it's movie night here at the ballpark. They're going to show a movie right after the game. There's a shot. Talk about fireworks, deep to left, and that one is out of here, and he's done it again for the 6th time this season. And Mookie Betts makes it 1-0 Boston. Number 21 for Mookie.
The kid is flat out unbelievable this season, making his mark on the major leagues without question. An all-star, and he will jump on a fastball middle in. We know that. I don't know why the rest of the league doesn't. You get behind him, you try to throw him a fastball, forget about it. He jumps all over it.
Speedway proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience. For every Sox home run, Speedway donates to the Boston Children's Hospital. All summer long, stop at Speedway and get any size fountain or frozen drink for just 69 cents. Not an unusual occurrence against Santiago. That's the 20th home run he's allowed. Very much a fly ball pitcher, and sometimes it really burns him.
Now, one of his best attributes is the way he hides the ball, but that certainly wasn't hidden. Kind of holds the ball way back behind him, and he's a crossfire guy. He throws across his body.
Pedroia .304, 11 homers, 43 driven in. He does have a 9-game hitting streak. Red Sox quickly in front, 1-0.
You really have to start considering that Mookie Betts has an excellent chance at being a 30-30 guy this year. Really, the only thing that stops him from stealing bases is when he hits the home runs.
Well, he has 17 stolen bases and now 21 big flies. And that one fouled back.
Look out, Dave.
Has 68 RBIs out of the leadoff man. And he has more hits than any other leadoff man in baseball. That's number 132. And a spectacular smile to boot.
And he uses it.
And Pedroia will take ball for it. Petey did that a lot last night. He walked 3 times and takes his 4th in the last 2 games in his first trip to the plate tonight. Xander Bogaerts will be next. Xander last night striking for a home run, number 13. 2 for 5. He added a double. He drove in 3 runs in the Red Sox win. So he's hitting .331, 66 RBIs.
It's on a nice 11-game hit streak.
And he's hitting .426 during that streak. 20 out of 47.
I think that's the second longest active streak going on right now in the American League.
Sometimes you see guys with 10 or 11 game hitting streaks. They might be hitting 250.
Yeah, 1 for 4 every night.
Very light streak. That's not the case here. He'll take a strike.
It's really been the case all season long with the Red Sox hitters that have had streaks of 10 games or more. Almost every one of them have been crushing the ball during those streaks. Gaudy numbers.
Bradley on deck. Pedroia getting his lead. Xander's hit this guy well. 5 for 9 against the left-hander Santiago. Well, Toronto is now in first place in the American League East by half a game over Baltimore after the Blue Jays sent the Orioles to their 5th consecutive loss today, 9-1. So those are your updated standings. The Sox a game and a half out. Those top 3 tightly bunched. 3-1. He just walked Dustin Pedroia, and now he's falling behind Bogaerts, who has a hitter's count.
He better not throw that same fastball he threw to Betts. See if Pedroia thinks about being on the move in this hitter's count.
And Dustin Pedroia, who's now reached base in 33 straight games, not running, and a strike, barely on the corner. And that fills up the count on Xander Bogaerts.
They were looking to go away. It went all the way across the plate. Little frame job right there. And he got the call anyway.
Bandy, the catcher tonight for Mike Scioscia. He can be hard on his catchers. Very, very demanding. I think Mike Napoli found that out when he was a catcher for the Angels. Scioscia expects a lot of those guys behind the plate.
Because he was so good and worked so hard at it.
Yep, all those years with the Dodgers.
Nobody blocked the plate better.
3-2, and he walks another one. So the first 3 Red Sox have all reached base. That'll put men at first and second for Jackie Bradley, hitting for the first time in his career out of the cleanup spot.
Wow, shades of last night when Lincecum was on the mound and he got off to a really shaky start. The Red Sox really didn't make him pay for it early on. Eventually they did. A big home run by Bradley right there. Calhoun tried to go into the seats to get it. Lincecum acted surprised that someone actually took him deep.
I'm shocked that he looked surprised with that hanger.
It was the last pitch he threw all night.
Out of the ballpark. So first and second for Bradley. Hitting .298 with a 17 homers, 62 RBIs. He's 1 for 8 in the series. That won a home run. And inside for a ball. This is a guy, Santiago, who's really been a hot hand coming into this game.
He's won his last 6 decisions, including 5 straight starts. He's won.
Look at that ERA in the month of July. Exceptional. 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike.
We talked to the people around the Angels, and they say it really came out of nowhere because his ERA in May and June was sky high, and the next thing you know, July rolls around and he was on fire.
28 years old, 6 feet, about 215 pounds. He's from Newark, New Jersey. And a 1-1 snapped in there for a strike. He does have that curveball. And a changeup that Steve was talking about is a palm ball, which not many guys throw.
No, and he will throw it to lefties as well. A lot of left-handed starters, a lot of left-handed pitchers don't like to throw their changeup to lefties.
1-2. He would not chase. Hanley Ramirez on deck.
The reason that is because left-handed hitters are generally low ball hitters. You throw them a changeup, a lot of times pitchers will feel like that will speed up a guy's bat and it comes right into a left-hander's happy house.
We'll see where this one winds up. Lefty to lefty, the 2-2. And he foul tipped it at home plate to hang in there. He is barely alive. This greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Santiago's 5 starts in July, 5-0, 148. He's holding opponents to a 200 batting average. It's the longest winning streak of his career. But he has not recorded an out here in the top of the first inning, and he's down 1-0 thanks to Mookie Betts. Pedroia at second, Bogaerts at first. 2-2 again, and that is in there for strike 3. Caught him looking on the upper end of the strike zone.
Jackie has seen a few pitches like this already in this series. A nasty pitch. You don't want to swing at it. Jackie thought it was away and up.
I think Joe West got it right. Looked like a strike. And the Ramirez now to DH tonight, hitting .276 with 13 homers, 60 runs batted in. He does have experience against Santiago, 3 for 11 against him. Red Sox trying to add on after the home run by Betts, and that is right through there for strike 1.
And then Ramirez takes a lot of first pitches.
He was 0 for 3 last night. Pedroia took ball 4. He's now at second. Bogaerts took ball 4, now at first. And Santiago to the plate. 1-1.
Hanley had the great finish to the homestand, and when you look at numbers, almost for a month, his last 27 games, he's been better than a 300 hitter at 306.
Aaron Hill in the lineup tonight, playing third base with Shaw at first base, and Ramirez the DH with Big Papi out of the lineup. So Hill's on deck. And a strike. 82 miles an hour. We've seen a lot of that in this series. 82, 83.
I think one of the reasons Hanley's a little more consistent this year is because his batting stance and approach has been much more consistent. There we saw him leg kicking sometimes, not leg kicking. His bat is on his shoulder very much more consistently. Starts from right there.
2-2.
Not so many changes for him this season. Staying with the same thing and being a lot more consistent player because of it.
Hill the on deck hitter. Santiago has already faced the Red Sox once this season, and he got the win at Fenway Park, but very few remember that performance because that was the 21-2 blowout, the victory for the Angels. Lunging and a pop foul out of play to the right. He went 6 innings in that start. Not that it mattered much with all the runs they scored. That game was not about pitching, but he walked 4, gave up just 1 run. But yet another one of the Angels who does not throw very hard. We saw Jared Weaver throwing 84 miles an hour the other night, and occasionally Lincecum was throwing 88, but rarely any harder than 86. The 2-2 coming. And went with a fastball, but he missed outside, and that fills it up. So it's 3-2 on Hanley. You got to be patient.
I say get these guys going. Let Hanley take a rip with everybody running.
Pedroia and Bogaerts, we'll see if they're taking off here on the full count pitch with 1 down and a run in the top of the first.
He's not going anywhere with that lead.
And a ground ball through for a base hit. Pedroia hitting third to get away with him in. Around he comes. Petit does not have a strong arm, and he is in to score. And the Red Sox lead it 2-0. It was a very patient at bat by Hanley Ramirez to pick up his 61st RBI. It's 2-0 Red Sox.
It's kind of what Hanley has been doing lately, just contributing within that offense, keeping the train moving, getting an RBI every once in a while, getting hits when you need it. Good swing right there. See Petey, no chance he was running, but he's off and running now, and they're going to run on Petit every chance they get out there in left field.
Yeah, he's an infielder being forced to play the outfield. And the Red Sox have been running on him in the series. Well, that'll bring up Aaron Hill with runners at first and second. 188, no homers, 2 RBIs. Hill playing third base. Travis Shaw on deck.
Shaw moves over to first.
Sox building an early rally here against Santiago. Very deliberate with men on. And a high pop up into short right. Marte and now Giovatello, the second baseman. He'll make the play. They rule that an infield fly. And it's out number 2. So 2 down for Travis Shaw. Shaw will climb in hitting .266 with a dozen homers and 55 runs batted in. He is 0 for 3 lifetime against Hector Santiago. Shaw did not play in last night's Red Sox win, but he comes into this one with a 5-game hitting streak. Chance to keep this first inning rolling, and takes outside ball 1.
Didn't play last night against the right-hander Lincecum. Playing tonight against the left-hander, comes into this game hitting a .195 against lefties.
With 3 home runs. 2 balls, no strikes. Bryce Brents would hit next. Red Sox now 7 men into the batting order here in the top of the first against Santiago. He lets it go for a strike at 86, right at the bottom of the zone. Late arriving crowd here in Anaheim. This is typically the case. Here comes the 2-1. Well, now he's gone to 3-1, pitching himself into more trouble. He's already walked 2 in the inning. I know this comes as no surprise for those of you who know Southern California. There's a lot of traffic around the area.
We also have the Orange County Fair going on right now, which
the
creates
3-1
even
pitch,
more.
and that is going to be outside for ball 4. So he's walked 3 men, and now he's loaded up the bases. And Bryce Brents could do a lot of damage right now in the first inning against Santiago. Lincecum last night was a walk factory, wasn't he, with 6. So it's plaguing this staff, and the Red Sox trying to benefit. One man who's already taken ball 4 has scored. That was Dustin Pedroia. I was talking with Bryce Brents about Santiago. He has seen him before. We were chatting before the game in the clubhouse, and he said he'll come across his body and he can occasionally make a mistake like the one that Mookie Betts hit out of the ballpark.
If there's one thing we know about Brent so far in his young career at the major league level, he's not going to get cheated. If he sees a pitch like that, he will air it out.
That's exactly what he said. That's what he's looking for. No place to put him, though. And the fastball right through there for strike 1, 91 on the gun. Red Sox ahead 2-0 in the first. Started awfully well on the bat of Mookie Betts as he led off the ball game with his 21st home run. One hit foul hard past first base, and he's in the hole now. 0-2. Bryce Brent's the 8th man to swing in the first inning.
It's one of the tough things for a guy who doesn't get to play that much, but is expected to have some power when he does play, is getting that thing started. It's easy to be late.
Bogarts, Ramirez, and Shaw on the bases here in the first. And a long inning for Santiago. And again, lately he has been their #1 starter. All through the month of July, he's undefeated. And the 0-2. And in there for strike 3. So West rings him up. They leave him loaded, but the Red Sox get 2 right away. Lineup brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. It'll be Escobar, Trout, and Pujols 1, 2, 3. Jeffrey Marte at first. Simmons the shortstop. Bandy the catcher. Giavotella at second base, swinging a good stick. Petita's in left. And Shane Robinson just off the disabled list to play tonight in right field batting ninth. Red Sox starters presented by your New England Audi dealers. Drew Pomeranz 0-1. His ERA right at 7. Making his 3rd start of the season for the Red Sox since the trade from San Diego and back in friendly Southern California.
You look at that ERA up around 7 and you say, oh my gosh, what's going on? But he had 1 bad blow-up inning, and it was a bad one. The rest of the time he's pitched pretty darn good.
And he has featured an outstanding curveball, which he throws a ton. Pitched much better his last time out against the Detroit Tigers. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. He did take the loss, though, despite striking out 7. And a bounding ball foul off the bat. Escobar hitting .321 coming in and .376 when he leads off an inning.
You talk about the recent starts that the Red Sox have had where they've been very competitive. When you look at Price and then you look at Porcello last night, even before that, Pomeranz's start was very good. The offense didn't score him any runs, and Erod, same situation.
An awkward swing there, and that one fouled away at home plate by Escobar. And in a little bit of pain.
He's got the shin guard there, and it doesn't work off the toe. Puppies are barking at him now.
Yeah, I would think so. That curveball right there, he was fooled badly on. You've seen Pomeranz once before. He has a hit off him. To the third baseman, in on it, Hill, and from the grass we'll get him.
Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Here we go around the infield. Heel gets another start at third base. Bogarts at short. Pedroia and Shaw on the right side. Out into the outfield. Bryce Brinson left. Bradley Jr. in center. Mookie Betts with the home run already in right field. And there's your battery. Sandy Leone doing the catching. Drew Pomeranz looking for his first win in a Red Sox uni.
About to face one of the great young talents in baseball, and Mike Trout. 310, 19 homers, 65 driven in. He's already won an MVP. Not quite 25 yet. Trout's first car, a truck, is being auctioned off in Atlantic City at the National Sports Collectors Convention. His parents bought it for him, a pickup truck, in '07 when he was a junior at Millville High in New Jersey. And then he bought a new car when the Angels drafted him with the bonus money. And
another truck?
He bought a nice car, but he sold the truck to the parents of his now fiance. And they gave it to their youngest son, who has also been drafted by the Angels. So that's what he's driving.
So it will sell for about 5 times what it's actually worth?
They expect it'll go for about $15,000. That's all. He signed the glove compartment. Little added touch there. Here comes the 2-1. And a base hit into left field. So Trout is quickly aboard here in the first inning.
This ball kind of hooking away from Bogey at short. It's just hit too hard to catch. It's a looping breaking ball, and Trout wasn't fooled at all over it.
On in front of Albert Pujols, who will step up there. 258 with 19 homers, 78 runs batted in. He's been driving the ball this month, but certainly a double play candidate. He'll take ball 1. Albert with 28 RBIs this month to lead the majors. Red Sox ahead 2-0 in the first. Trout, of course, always a threat to run. Not going, and that dips in there for a strike. (17 out of 18 for the multi-talented outfielder. The 1-1. High fly foul out of play. Pujols, well, with St. Louis, won 2 World Series. He's 36 years old now.
We've talked about it during this series. Those towering home runs he hits to left are a lot of fun to watch. But I love his opposite field stroke. One of the best from any right-handed hitter in the game.
1-2.
He certainly modified his stance and the way he swings the bat with the coming of age for him and the injuries that he's seen.
He still hits for excellent power. He's not the hitter for average. He's not the batting champ Albert Pujols anymore. Those days are gone. Hitting in the 250s. 258. He still hit it a long way though, the 2-2. And now it's a full count.
If you watch his front foot, his left foot, he was one of the first guys really. There was a lot of guys that followed him that do it. Guys like Jimmy Edmonds and others who would not stride. All he does is barely pick up the heel of his foot, puts it right back down in the same spot. That's the only cocking action he uses to get that swing going. No stride.
3-2, got jammed a bit, popped it into center field. Out goes Pedroia, but it falls in. Trout up to second and will hold on there. So that's a muscle shot by Pujols. Just enough on that swing to drop it in. Pomeranz now has runners at first and second and 1 away.
Here's Albert, just picks up that foot, puts it right back down in the same spot. That was a little more exaggerated than he normally is. Gets jammed, but good hitters get jammed, and that's a base hit.
Just his second and 13 at bats against Pomeranz. Now Marte, the cleanup man, first baseman, 231, 6 homers, 18 driven in. 24-year-old right-hand hitter, acquired in a trade from the Tigers in January, and he does have some pop in the bat. Red Sox up 2-0 in the first, and that one scoots away from Leon, and both runners are going to advance. Trout down to third, Pujols into second.
When you look at this play initially, you think, ball in the dirt, it skips away and guys move up. But the problem is, on a wild pitch here, so you take yourself completely out of the double play situation. Now you're going to have to get 2 guys out. You can't make 2 outs generally with just 1 hitter now.
One of the giant problems for the Red Sox pitching staff this season has been the lack of shutdown innings after the Red Sox have put runs on the board, which they just did in the first inning. The 1-0 and a ground ball that's going to bring in a run. Pedroia on to first base, in to score Mike Trout, and the Angels score to make it 2-1.
I know Rick Porcello could teach the rest of this staff a little something about that, because last year he had enormous problems with shutdown innings. He has certainly solved that issue this season.
I should say so at 14-2.
Yeah, here's the pitch. Just another breaking ball. Just pushes it over to the right side. He knows he's going to get the run in with that ground ball. Obviously was looking for a hit. Pomeranz can get out of this with an out now.
Now Pujols to third base on the ground out, brings up Andrelton Simmons. Shortstop batting .281. Swings, and it's a high fly ball, well struck but playable. Jackie Bradley there to make the grab, and that retires the side, but Pomeranz gives one back. It is 2-1 Boston. With yesterday's win, Rick Porcello became the 4th Major League pitcher this season to record 14 wins in his first 16 decisions. Steven Strasburg, Chris Sale, and Chris Tillman are the others. Just the 2nd time in baseball history 4 pitchers accomplished that feat in the same season. Now he's in the conversation for Cy Young. As Sandy Leon will take a strike to begin the 2nd inning. 2-1 Red Sox leading the Angels.
Porcello not too flashy about doing anything. He just gets it done.
Lash foul by Sandy, hitting .386, 3 homers and 16 driven in. I would say that's exactly fitting for him too. The kid out of New Jersey who's not blowing people away on the radar gun. It's not like he's throwing 97, 98. That sinker has been devastating. That 2-seamer fouled back to the net. And it was great last night. I would have to say his best pitching performance all season long.
Sure. Complete game. Gave up just 5 hits. Those 2 runs really didn't have to score. It was a bad hop past Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field that changed that inning and enabled the Angels to score 2 quick ones and then nothing.
Red Sox taking game 2 after falling in gut-wrenching fashion in game 1 here. That'll be in there for called strike 3. So Jackie with a strikeout looking in the first inning. Brent's with a strikeout looking, and now Leon here in the second inning with a strikeout looking. One man gone for Mookie Betts, who started the ball game by launching home run number 21. His 6th leadoff home run this season. In the last 20 years, only Nomar Garciaparra had more leadoff home runs in one season. In 1997, he had 7.
Inside fastball too. You just know you can't throw it there, and Mookie loves that pitch. Funny thing about Mookie Betts, when he gets that pitch, he usually hits a home run. It's not like he just bangs a single in the left field. If he gets that pitch, he hammers it.
He was 0 for 2 last night with an RBI. He chops that one to third. Short hop stab by Escobar and gets him. 2 up, 2 down. Pedroia to climb in next. Major League Baseball, MLB.TV Premium. Everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams and over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Pedroia took a walk and scored a run in the first inning. He was driven in by Hanley Ramirez with a solid base hit through the left side hole. In for called strike 1.
So Betts has, what'd you say, 5 or 6 leadoff home runs this season?
Yeah, 6 this year.
2 last year. So he's got 8 in his career. And you kind of, Ricky Henderson has the most in history.
That feels like about 5,000.
I thought it was in the 30s. I thought it was like 32 or something. I looked it up. 82.
82. Yeah.
82 leadoff home runs in his career. So Mookie's got a ways to go.
23 years old. Plenty of time. Pedroia loops that one into right. Robinson has to back up on it. It started in, almost came in too much. And the Red Sox go 1-2-3 in the second. Moment honoring the '86 Red Sox season in their 102nd game. Red Sox lost to that man and the Kansas City Royals 13-2. The winning pitcher, Mark Gubicza, current Angels broadcaster. He went 6 for hits and struck out 3.
He could pitch.
In fact, his very first, I was just talking to Mark, his very first Red Sox appearance against the Red Sox was his first major league win.
Wow. He had a funky delivery. You were just waiting for him to get hurt. Very nice long career, though.
Yep, fine pitcher. Jet Bandy, their catcher, hitting .277 with 4 home runs out of the University of Arizona. Before that, he graduated from Thousand Oaks High, 73 miles north of Angel Stadium.
This guy can be dangerous a little bit with Pomeranz and that curveball. It's kind of a low ball hitter, wants the ball down and in for a right-hander. Kind of sweeps things out of there. And Pomeranz with that curveball, that's kind of right into the area where he's looking to hit the ball.
Red Sox in front here 2-1 in the second. Pomeranz looking for his first Boston win. Here's the 3-1. And a high pop up into foul ground. Hill looking for room, racing toward the dugout. The camera well makes a nice play. Aaron Hill with the stab for the out. 1 gone.
That is a nice play right there. I'm not sure Sandy Leon even saw Hill coming in to make this play. Sandy was a little bit lost there. If you're the third baseman in that area, that is your ball. You got to come in and catch that one. Your catcher shouldn't have to go that far out of the dirt to go get it.
Here's Giovatello, the second baseman, hitting .274, 6 home runs, has 9 hits in his last 15 at bats. So he's sizzling as he looks at a strike.
When I was playing with the White Sox and Carlton Fisk, that's what he would say. I'd be playing third base. They'd pop a ball up like that, and he'd say, "Hey, Steve, you're catching everything. I am not coming out of this dirt circle." Right around home, I don't leave that dirt circle. You catch everything else.
So this area belongs to Pudge.
Yeah.
Everything else belongs to you guys.
Yeah. If it's on that side, you better get it. If it's over there, Big Frank Thomas better go get it.
You know, we see video clips all the time, and I remember these vividly watching Carlton Fisk as a kid when he was with the Red Sox, of Pudge diving into the stands, making these spectacular catches.
He got old when he got to the White Sox.
so as he aged, wasn't any diving into the stands.
Not going anywhere. Not
risking life and limb. But early in his career, he was all over the place, and a big guy. 2-1.
And that's the story is absolutely true. And he said, hey, he just thought that it was an easier play for you to make. He shouldn't have to be running all over the place. And I say that in jest just a little bit because he was one of the hardest working players I ever saw.
Oh yeah.
After games, he would be, up there in the clubhouse lifting weights until 1 in the morning every night. In an era when no one did.
Right. You don't play that long without working at it, as he did. 3-2 to count. Now good New England stock.
Yeah. I was waving goodbye to him on my way out the door. He was headed up to the weight room. Amazing player.
3-2 to Giovatello. Another deep count here for Pomeranz. And cut on and missed. He got him. That'll be his first strikeout of the ball game.
Another good breaking ball down and in. That looks like the curveball again. I was looking to see if it's the cut fastball, the slider that he's developed. He didn't have that pitch before. He didn't use it much in his last start, and yet we were told one of the reasons why he's so much better this year is because he developed that pitch.
He developed that pitch, that cutter you're talking about, just messing around. First pitch on the way, up and away on Petit. He's hitting .282 with 2 home runs. 0 for 3 last night. Red Sox ahead here 2-1 in the second.
Nice. Now we've seen with Eduardo Rodriguez that it's hard to be just a 2-pitch pitcher in the big leagues if you're going to be a starter. Now the hitters will sit on one or the other, and it's going to be tough on you.
He fires in a fastball at 91. Petit 329 in his last 32 games. So he's been a tough out lately. He will not chase there. Red Sox and the Angels will wrap up this series and the season series tomorrow afternoon. Right here from the Big A. Stephen Wright on the mound as that one's knocked foul out of play. Stephen trying to go to 13-5 against left-hander Tyler Skaggs. Tomorrow at 8, don't miss the Ultimate Red Sox show presented by AAA. Dave Dombrowski talks about the Sox options heading into the trade deadline. We also recap the 7th annual Run to Home Base tomorrow at 8 on NESN. Will the Red Sox make a deal? A lot of talk here in Southern California.
I think they want to do something. They absolutely want to try to make this team a little bit better.
3-2, a swing and a miss for strike 3. Again, he went to 3-2, but he gets him. Pomerantz retires the side. 1-2-3. Red Sox ticket resale marketplace at RedSoxReplay.com, the best place for season ticket holders to sell their tickets when they can't make it to the game. Red Sox in front 2-1. Dave O'Brien, Steve Lyons, and Garrett Austin from beautiful Southern California. Xander Bogaerts walked in the first inning against the left-hander Hector Santiago, who had some control issues. And that one knocked into left field on the line. It'll drop down for a base hit, so Xander's on again.
So simple.
It makes it look so simple. Yeah, when you're hitting 330, I guess it looks easy.
He is so good with his head discipline. Watch him watch the ball hit the bat. Look at that. Head down. Perfect. He's golfed that into left field.
Xander now with 139 hits in 102 games and a 12-game hitting streak. Here's Jackie Bradley. He struck out looking in the first inning.
The best thing about Betts, Bogaerts, and Bradley, all young players, all having fantastic seasons, is that it doesn't faze them a bit. It's like they're not caught up in their own hype.
Leadoff man aboard, and that one is fouled back. I will say that, and I don't know that this is true, my gut tells me that any time someone's calling Dave Dombrowski, one or a combination of those names that you just mentioned are being mentioned on the other side of the phone.
And that's when the phone goes dead.
Well, I doubt very much Dave Dombrowski's hanging up on people, but that's probably the end of the conversation. I don't think the Red Sox are entertaining anything close to that from what I'm told. Here comes the 1-1. Tried to hold up, but he went. It's a swing and a miss. So 1-2 on Jackie Bradley. I mean, some team can always overwhelm you.
Sure. Absolutely. We've seen it done in the past. No question about it.
The 1-2 coming. And just a little bit high. You've been on the traded end of this stuff before, so you know this is a nerve-wracking time for players. You know, some guys hear their names mentioned in the rumor mill, even if there's no truth to it. Someone like Xander Bogaerts or Jackie Bradley or Mookie Betts, who the Red Sox do not want to even entertain dealing. That someone may write about it and put their name in there, whether there's truth to it or not.
And you can go in the tank for a 2-week period of time thinking about it. You know, luckily the Red Sox, as you talked about the other night, the Red Sox aren't out shopping their players. They're being asked about them all the time. So you don't hear their names in the paper very often, which is a great thing. These guys can just go out and play. A lot of times when you get traded, it's a surprise, and that's a good thing. You don't want to hear your name bandied about for 3 weeks. Hey, he might get traded here. He might go there. Chris Sale right now. I mean, everybody's talking about him for various numbers of reasons. But it's a little harder to concentrate. Some guys handle it a lot better than others.
2-1 Boston here in the third. And the 3-2 again to Bradley. Bogaerts holding, and that's going to be ball 4. So he's walked another man. That's 4 already for Santiago. Major League Baseball trade deadline is coming up on Monday afternoon, and Nesson has you covered. Tom Caron will host a live 2-hour trade deadline special starting at 3:30. And whether your name is in the paper or not, or online or not, or on the radio shows or not, you're going to feel a whole lot better once the trade deadline passes on Monday and you're still wearing that uniform.
A deal still can be made after that, too. You just have to clear waivers.
It can be. It's a little tougher. Well, here's Hanley Ramirez now. An RBI single in the first inning. Red Sox trying to build another rally. First and second, nobody out.
Well, you're right. It happened to me, and it was much easier for a bunch of reasons. Number one, I got traded about a month before the deadline for Tom Seaver in 1986, and it was a complete surprise. So I didn't see it, hear it. No one was coming. Next thing you know, you're just traded and you go.
At least you got traded for a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best pitchers, certainly one of the great right-handed pitchers of all time, as that misses for a ball. So you'll always have that.
Oh, yes, I got traded for a legend. He didn't. I don't think if you asked Tom Seaver who he got traded for, he probably, I don't remember.
You know, Tom's actually a very good friend of mine. I think you're absolutely right.
You were going to save me there for a second, weren't you?
I'm not going to go there. Here's the 1-1. And a strike right at the bottom of that zone, right at the hollow of the knee. And he drove in his 61st run with a single in the first. Has a chance to drive in another one with Bogaerts and Bradley on.
Well, Hanley, if they're going to pitch you away, go ahead and hit it away.
Nobody out.
Oh.
And down he goes, strike 3. Santiago made a tough pitch.
Now right through that one.
And one man gone, and Hill next. DraftKings is the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of the Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing on DraftKings right now. Play free daily using the promo code NESSON at DraftKings.com. Hill is 0 for 1. He has popped up to second. He takes ball 1. Trying to drive in his third run. It'll be his first run driven in since he was acquired from Milwaukee. Bogaerts the runner at second. And he gets under this and skies a pop into center field. Backpedaling out Giovitella. And called up by the center fielder who will make the catch. Trout makes the grab, and they're 2 down. So the Red Sox are threatening to waste an opportunity with Travis Shaw about to dig in.
Last year the Red Sox did this all the time. They'd get a couple guys on, they'd go through the middle of their order, and during the time when the middle of the order wasn't swinging the bats very well, they would make 3 straight outs, and the guy who originally was on second base wouldn't move. That hasn't happened very often this season. They're threatening to do that right now.
Shaw took a walk in the first inning. Red Sox ahead 2-1 in the third. And that one scoots on by Bandy. Will go all the way to the backstop, and the runners will move up to second and third. Bogaerts and Bradley now both in scoring position.
Well, let's look to see if there was a cross up here, or did Bandy just get a little lazy? Didn't quite get over there. That pitch, it's a bad pitch, but he couldn't slide over and keep that ball in front of him.
I would guess a wild pitch. It looked like it did touch the dirt, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too. It's so far away from Bandy.
It is a wild pitch. Chance to drive in a couple of runs now for Travis, who has 55 RBIs. Riding a 5-game hit streak at the moment, and he'll look at a ball. 2-0. Travis Shaw, the only major leaguer with as many as 3 5 RBI games this season. He has Bogaerts at third and Bradley at second with 2 down. And he takes inside. Santiago really all over the place in this one. He already walked 4 men. He has uncorked a wild pitch. Frankly, he is really lucky he's not down by about 5 runs right now.
Yeah. Give Shaw the green light right here.
I say no, because he's so wild.
Yeah, he
and there
can't throw a strike.
You're right. That's the second time he's walked Shaw. The bases are loaded. Tune in to Nesson on August 29th and 30th for coverage of the WEEI Nesson Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon, presented by Arbella Insurance Foundation. Arbella Insurance Foundation, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. Well, the Red Sox loaded the bases in the first inning after scoring 2, and Bryce Brents was called out on a 3rd strike, and the Red Sox left him loaded.
He's got the bases loaded again for himself.
2 down, and he takes a strike. And again, a pitch that didn't look like a strike.
That ball's inside right there. Brents is starting to question things now. I bet you he gets very aggressive now for the rest of this at bat. He's thinking to himself, I can't keep taking pitches that they keep calling strikes. I've got to try to do something here.
Santiago's walked 5 men. You're right about the aggressiveness, but he comes up empty.
And if you're Santiago now, you got to be thinking along this same cat and mouse game. If you remember what Brents did the last time, if I'm Santiago, for the next 2 pitches at least, I don't throw a strike. I throw something that's enticing, but I don't want it to be over the plate.
Here's the 0-2 coming. Broken bat liner, but foul. So he got a pitch to pull, and he busted his bat on it, fouling it away.
And for me, this is way too good a pitch. 0-2. When you got a guy questioning himself at the plate, man, throw a slider in the dirt, throw something up and away.
But if you're Bryce Brents, anything close, you got to be swinging the bat.
You got to act. That's my point. It's like Santiago's thinking, or should be thinking, I got this guy on the ropes right here. Second time he strolled up here with the bases loaded, he's got to do something. I don't have to throw a strike to him.
0-2. Got a piece. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
And since we talked about it, Brents has swung at every pitch since.
Well, the Red Sox with a chance to put a big-time hurt on a left-hander in the Angels right now in the third. They are all loaded up for the second time in 3 innings. And the southpaw ready finally. The 0-2 again. and rocketed foul. Boy, he sat on that one. Hit it very sharply, but foul. Trying to straighten out one of those. 2-1 Boston. Bradley on at third, or on at second. Xander Bogaerts on at third, and Travis Shaw at first.
I think Escobar just went in there and said, hey, change something up. Throw a slider in the dirt here and see what happens.
0-2 again, and in there for strike three. He caught him looking with a fastball at 94, the second time that Bryce Brents has fanned with the bases loaded.
Angel Stadium. It's the bottom of the third. The Red Sox have a 2-1 lead. I'm Garen Austin. Hello, everyone. I talked to Drew Pomeranz, who said just as he was getting settled into Boston and the East Coast, the team goes on an 11-game road trip. He said he's fitting in well, and he's getting used to working with pitching coach Carl Willis and Sandy Leon. And guys, he told me that, when he was in San Diego, he could go anywhere and nobody knew who he was. He said very different story compared to Boston, but he said, the All-Star game was a great experience for him, dealing with the crowds and the fans.
Indeed, he was an all-star, Garen, and yeah, I've talked to him about the Boston thing as well and how it hit him in the face. Literally walked into a billboard that said, "Welcome, Drew Pomeranz," right around the corner from Fenway. He said, there I was, larger than life, within 48 hours of the trade. So,
well, he is 6'6". He is larger than life.
Yep. And he's going to snag that one and get Shane Robinson for the out to begin the third inning as we welcome in Alex Spear of 108 Stitches and the Boston Globe. No mega trades yet, Alex, but Melanson was traded from the Pirates today to Washington. Now, how do you rank that trade? And is that a white flag for the Pirates?
It's not a white flag for the Pirates to me. If you look at what they got in return, it's actually a lot like the trade that got Mark Melanson to the Pirates from the Red Sox in the first place. In that they got a really good left-handed relief pitcher who's already shown that he can strike out a lot of guys at the major league level. Maybe has closer stuff, so they're going to reconfigure their bullpen with another alternative at the back end. But they kind of upgraded their they kept their major league roster in their eyes roughly at the same level of talent, but they were able to buy more years of control with Melanson a free agent after this year.
He was traded to Washington, and that means that Papelbon is no longer the closer.
Indeed, and that kind of harkened back to a really interesting story that we were thinking of from a few years ago, 2007 to be exact, when Papelbon was, of course, the closer for the Red Sox. At the trade deadline that year, the Red Sox were in advanced talks with the Rangers. in order to see if they could land Eric Gagne. And at the time, Gagne had a lot of things in his contract that behooved him to be a closer. There was some thought that he would be acquired by the Red Sox and close for them. So the Red Sox needed to sort through this with Jonathan Papelbon.
Escobar taking ball 4 here, and that's the first walk issued by Pomeranz.
And so a car filled with Terry Francona, Theo Epstein, John Farrell, and Gary Tuck went to Papelbon's apartment on Boylston Street. Terry Francona in full uniform was running down Boylston Street, and all of these guys were meeting with Papelbon in the boiler room of his apartment building and asking him, so if we get Gagne, how would you feel about setting him up? And the answer was simply, no way. So they kind of had to work out the deal so that Gagne was the setup man.
Here's Trout, who singled and scored a run in the first inning. It's a little topper foul off third base. Oh, I can see that whole thing playing out. Terry Francona saying, hey, excuse me, where's your boiler room? You guys have a boiler room? I got to get in there.
I got to get in there to get turned down by one of my players when I ask him to do something.
Well, they were right not to move Papelbon off of the 9th inning, in fairness. He wasn't bad that year on the way to a World Series.
No.
Gagne didn't help them much, however.
Yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, and Gagne really collapsed.
A good reminder that even as you have what seems like a big deal, it might not necessarily be the difference maker you want.
Cut and a miss by Trout as he comes up empty there, and the count moves to 0-2. We were talking about this just recently about whether the Red Sox are going to be active, what kind of move they might make. If they do make a move, is it going to be a minor deal? Is it going to be a real surprise major deal? Is Dave Dombrowski going to come out of nowhere and scoop up a big time arm to help this team down the stretch? The 0-2 will miss up and in on Trout. Have your feelings changed on that at all the last 24 hours or so?
I don't think that they have. I think that really it's going to take probably just up until the deadline to kind of shake the trees loose and see if there's any fruit falling. But the White Sox have been scouting the Red Sox system very aggressively, which is of course a pretty interesting phenomenon given who the White Sox have in their rotation.
Swing and a miss, and Trout goes down on strikes, and they're 2 away.
I'm surprised. I did not think that Pomeranz would necessarily be able to beat Trout with the fastball. That was
beat him with a couple of fastballs in that at bat. And for as great as Mike Trout is, he does strike out a lot as well.
The game has kind of evolved where there's a greater acceptance of strikeouts, particularly given that the realities of you want to swing for the fences. It's harder to stack together a few hits that yield a rally.
Pulls a swing. He tags that one deep to left field, sailing way back, and she is gone. That is a 2-run homer. And that will put the Angels in the lead here in Anaheim. His 20th. Pujols now with 80 RBIs, and 30 of those have come here in the month of July.
Looks like a cutter that just stays over the plate. When Pomeranz has been hurt for home runs most of the time this year, it's been with fastballs against right-handers, but there it was just that cutter that stayed over the plate. Even though it was a little bit down, Pujols has made a pretty good living of being able to get pitches that are all over the strike zone.
He's thrown very few cutters tonight, too, and that one hurt him.
So 2 down brings up Marte. Takes one up and in for a ball. 3-2, the Angels now out in front. He has just tied Lou Gehrig on the all-time RBI list with that 2-run shot to left. Line drive. Here comes Bradley. He'll make the catch on the run, and that will retire the side. Alex, always a pleasure.
Thanks so much, guys.
Keep in touch as we get closer and closer to the deadline. 3-2, the Angels. Royals $5 million giveaway. 3 ways to play. You can drive away with a Ford Escape, $5,000 in cash, and a grand prize of $100,000. Get your game ticket at Irving Oil today. Well, it is now 3-2 the Angels on the Pujols 2-run shot to left field off of Pomeranz. Sandy Leon will lead off here in the 4th inning with a high chop and a foul ball. He struck out looking in the 2nd.
Red Sox find themselves in a situation now getting beat by a run where they got to crank it up a notch again. They've had plenty of opportunities in this game to blow it open, have not done it.
Now, Hector Santiago has walked 5 men, but twice the Red Sox have left the bases loaded in an inning and have not come through with a key hit. Mookie Betts on deck, and then Dustin Pedroia. Top of the order's done its job tonight. Mookie Betts with a leadoff homer to start the game. Pedroia has walked and scored, and Xander Bogaerts has been on base twice. And the fastball in tight to make it 2-2.
Santiago's done a good job of getting in on the right-handed hitters in tonight's ball game, and there's a ton of them in the lineup for the Red Sox.
2-2, high fly to right, but foul. What's going to get Santiago tonight is the pitch count.
Yeah,
he's already up to 79, just beginning the 4th. He threw 38 in the 1st inning.
It'd be great to get back into that Angel bullpen too. They've had to be used.
Yeah, not a particularly good pen either. 2-2 again, and a shot to right center field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. Sandy Leon now 1 for 2.
It's so valuable to have a number 9 hitter that can come up and get you a base hit to turn the order over. They went away from Leon that time. We just talked about how effective he's been going inside, but you can't work the same side of the plate all the time, so he goes the other way and it hurts him a little bit.
So the leadoff man is aboard for Mookie Betts. Last time the Red Sox put the leadoff man on, he touched them all in the 1st inning. His 21st home run. It was just his 2nd hit here at Angels Stadium in 22 at bats. But he made it count. The 1-strike pitch. Sox leadoff man is number 2 on the team in RBIs, trailing only David Ortiz, who is resting tonight. Mookie with 68. And David Ortiz with 85.
Let's see if Santiago struggles to get the ball away from Mookie.
Went inside instead, and he missed.
He isn't able to throw a strike now, and I think that goes back to the Leon at bat. He wanted to go away from him. Now he really can't come into Mookie. He knows he can get hurt in there. So he's been really good to his glove hand side so far in this game, but he doesn't want to do that to Mookie Betts, and so it's kind of messing his rhythm up.
2-1 foul back to the screen. Again, Santiago coming in having won 6 consecutive decisions. He hasn't lost a decision since the 10th of June. So he has been their best guy on the mound for quite some time. But the Red Sox got 2 against him right away in the 1st inning, and have had a golden chance since then to really knock him out of the game. Still out there. The 2-2. Soft ground ball. Simmons will scoop that up, get the out there, back to first, not in time. So Leon is out at second base. Betts safely into first base. Hey, bring your company to a Red Sox game this year and enjoy one of Fenway's special pregame spaces, accommodating as many as 200 guests. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/groups. So Betts is on with 17 stolen bases, and Pedroia next. Pedroia trying to run his hitting streak to 10 in a row. 0 for 1 tonight with a walk and a run. That's a strike. Pedroia has hit safely in 80 of the Red Sox first 101 games. He's tied with Jose Altuve for the major league lead in games with a hit. And the lefty's 0-1.
Tonight's game, the combined ball clubs, you're looking at the teams that are really leading with number of guys hitting over 300. The Red Sox have 4, the Angels have 2. It's a lot of hitting going on between these two teams.
So far tonight, Red Sox with 4 hits, the Angels with 3. Mookie Betts leading away from first, not running, and it dips downstairs at 91 on Pedroia. Pedroia 4 for 15 lifetime against Santiago. Again, no David Ortiz tonight. He's resting. 1-2 hammered high and deep, but fouled on the left field line. He cranked it. But a noisy strike.
See Pedroia out in front of that pitch because it was a big looping breaking ball. Did keep his hands back enough to hit the ball, but still out in front of it too far to keep it fair. You see the big curveball, and then he just hammers it foul.
Betts is yet to run, but a throw over by Santiago.
With Mookie on first there, creates a pretty big hole between first and second for Pedroia to work. 2 strikes, he likes to go that way. You see the distance.
1 gone and a 1-2. Even now on Dustin Pedroia. Last night the Red Sox snapping their season-long 4-game losing skid. Going to have to come from behind tonight, trailing 3-2. Toronto beat up on the Orioles today 9-1 at Rogers Center in Canada. 2-2 fouled back.
The Orioles may be in a little bit of panic mode right now.
Maybe 5 straight losses. They're in the market for pitching.
We've been saying that since the season began too. We thought, no way does their pitching hold up. Kind of said the same thing about the Toronto Blue Jays too, but they seem to be surging right now.
Betts leading away from first base, and now time asked for it. Warm night here in Southern California. Red Sox and the Angels. From the Big A, here comes the 2-2. High pop foul back out of play. This has been a spot that has not been terribly kind to Dustin Pedroia this season. He's hit into 18 double plays.
Yeah. Another reason why going the other way would be a good idea for him. A little bit tougher double play. If he has to make the second baseman go to his left at all.
The man on deck, Xander Bogaerts, seems to get a very good look at Hector Santiago. Red Sox trying to get the inning to Xander, who already has 1 hit. 2-2. He buried that one. A good stop by Bandy to hold Mookie Betts at first base.
Good at bat by Petey here so far too, seeing a lot of pitches. We already talked about the pitch count for Santiago.
He's thrown 93 already. And he has 1 out in the 4th inning.
and he's leading in this game.
See, I always thought that should be a balk. The first baseman is not on the bag.
Not really holding him on.
And part of the balk rule, if you read it, is deception is not allowed. Well, that's nothing but deception. He is not even attempting to hold the runner, really. I mean, you can't tag him out. To me, that's always been a balk.
Didn't look like he was really attempting to tag the runner either.
Shouldn't the first baseman be on the base?
Well,
should be on the bag.
You know, I think guys, the way they play first base when they're holding the runner certainly has evolved. You'd never used to see that 10 years ago.
3-2, there he goes. Swinging a high pop foul. That'll drift off into the stands as Pedroia hangs in. Mookie Betts was running.
Mookie had that one stolen easy, but of course with Pedroia with 2 strikes, you can't just be taking the pitch for him up there.
4 pickoffs for him.
Here's Santiago trying the pickoff move. You see the tag by Marte, just lazy. It's just to say hello. We know you're over there. And then on the next pitch, Mookie took off.
See if he's running again on 3-2. There he goes. And he walks him. Really fine at bat by Pedroia. That is 6 walks already by Santiago. Catch a condensed 2-hour version of this Sox game tomorrow at noon on Sox in 2. Sox in 2 brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. The Red Sox, frankly, have not done much damage against Santiago, even though he's been quite wild.
There have been guys on base all night long.
And has tied his career high for walks, and it's the 4th inning, early in the 4th inning.
I was watching Lincecum from last night.
So here's Bogaerts taking a strike. He has walked and singled tonight. Red Sox are trailing 3-2 against a pitcher who really can't find the plate for the 2nd night in a row.
A lot of hitters will tell you these guys are tougher to hit. They don't know where it's going. You can't settle in. You can't sit on anything. Throwing just enough strikes to be effective.
The 0-1. And that'll miss, even though that looked like a pretty good pitch. I'm not sure where that missed.
Xander talking to Joe West about something there. A little big looping curveball. West probably figured it was a little too high when it crossed the plate.
Santiago is a guy who will walk people, but tonight a career high and the 1-1. And that'll miss again.
Boy, Xander looks so comfortable up there. No extra movement. He's not getting fooled. He's not lunging at anything.
Fernando Salas getting going in their bullpen. I think for Mike Scioscia, just too many base runners.
Yeah. And a guy's got 100 pitches. How
long
can he go?
Almost 98. With 1 out in the 4th. And across for a strike at 82 to even up the count.
Both strikes that he's throwing to Xander so far in this at bat, both changeups or the palm ball.
Bogaerts with a 12-game hitting streak. 6 for 10 lifetime against Hector Santiago. Now with a 2-2 pitch. Did he go? It's foul tipped into the mitt, and that is strike 3. And there are 2 down. He got unlucky.
Now that's classic what we talked about. He's throwing just enough strikes to get away with it. That one was just foul tipped. He didn't really want to swing at it. Another changeup.
Santiago's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. Somehow he has survived 100 pitches. Very erratic.
He's lulling me to sleep. Imagine what he's doing to the Red Sox hitters.
Jackie Bradley now. He has struck out looking, and he's taken ball 4. If the Red Sox strand these base runners, that will be 8 men left in the first 4 innings. Speeds it up a bit. Strike 1 at 91. Bogarts at second and Pedroia at first. 3-2 Angels. Not sure how. And that's a called strike. Almost the identical spot as the first one.
Good pitch right there.
Now, 4 of his strikeouts tonight have been caught lookings. Here's the 0-2 to Jackie. And just off the corner of the plate, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now give Santiago credit. When he's had to make a big pitch, he has made it.
Yeah, you wonder if some of this is by design.
1-2. And a high pop-up into right center field. Giavotella out, right fielder Robinson coming on. He'll make the catch. And the Red Sox again fail to get a key hit. Santiago, look at the look on his face. He can't believe he's still in the game. Trusted source for Red Sox tickets, has the best seats at the lowest prices. A's Ticket has the biggest selection of tickets from bleachers to boxes. Visit A'sTicket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Line shot down into the corner. That's going to be a fair ball off the bat of Andrelton Simmons. Racing into second base. He'll have a double. That's how the 4th inning gets underway for the Angels as they lead at 3-2. Simmons now 1 for 2.
He jumps over the first fastball he's going to see right there. He jumps on it. This is a strange game so far. Red Sox getting beat playing baseball, and the Angels are winning playing a game I'm not used to. 100 pitches through 4 innings.
The Red Sox have left 8 men on base, and twice have left the bases loaded. Jet Bandy now, the catcher, he's 0 for 1. There have only been 8 hits in the game, each side with 4. But the Red Sox all season long have been #1 in offense, and yet unable to cash in for the most part on 6 walks issued by Santiago. And that one is drilled into left field. Backing up Bryce Brent's on the move, and he's going to make the catch, tagging up Simmons, and he'll advance into third and stop there. That ball was ripped by Bandy. 1 man out.
We've seen a few of the outfielders get fooled a little bit in this series on how hard the ball is hit. Hit a little bit harder than they originally judged and had to readjust to go back there and catch the ball.
So now the infield will be in for Giavotella. He's been swinging a hot bat. He struck out his first time up. He has a runner at third base in Simmons.
Red Sox forced to come in here to try to cut off that run.
Giavotella with 9 hits in his last 16 at bats. And there's another one. That'll drive in a run and make it 4-2 Angels. What a strange game indeed.
There's your infield in right now, trying to cut off the run at the plate. Giavotella hits the first pitch right through the gap there. It's kind of strange. Simmons goes up there. You know he's looking first pitch fastball. He gets it, hits it down into the corner. Giavotella comes up there with a guy on third base, gets a first pitch breaking ball, and he's all over it.
Here's Petit, struck out his first trip in the second inning, 0 for 1 tonight. But a 280 hitter. And Pomeranz will miss down low for a ball. Pomeranz has only had 1 clean inning. That was the second when he got the 1-2-3, but gave up 2 hits and a run in the first inning. He allowed a home run to Albert Pujols for a 2-run shot in the third, and now double and a single in the fourth. High chop on the infield. Bogarts to charge it. Tried to barehand, but he drops it and everybody's safe. And that was do or die. And off his fingers.
Bogey looking at his fingers there too. Sometimes that ball can jump up and bite you and you can split a fingernail. Such a difficult play to try to make. It was his only option. You know, if you don't get it, it's a base hit.
Runners at first and second for the number 9 man, Shane Robinson, who just came off the disabled list tonight. Yeah, there is a problem there.
Yeah, right on that index finger. He probably split that fingernail a little bit.
Robinson activated before the game, is 19 games with a right ankle sprain. And the first pitch will be down into the dirt for ball 1. He's grounded back to the pitcher tonight. So the Angels with 3 hits here in the fourth against Pomeranz. He gives up another one, and that could bring in the 5th run of the ball game. The Red Sox bullpen is suddenly active.
There you go.
Bogarts to Pedroia. Got 1 on the first. They turn the double play, and that will retire the side. But another run on the board here for the Angels, and they're out in front 4-2. Underway here in the top half of the 5th inning as Hanley Ramirez takes a strike from Hector Santiago, who is the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And the Red Sox are trailing here 4-2. Red Sox have not hit in the clutch. Santiago has given him every opportunity to do that, as Boston has stranded 8 base runners. He's walked 6 men, and only 1 has come in to score. That was Pedroia in the 1st inning, when it looked like the Red Sox might have him on the ropes right away. But he escaped, and then he was Houdini again 2 innings later. Twice he has left the bases loaded. Andy Ramirez with an RBI single in the 1st innings, also struck out 1 for 2. Will be followed by Hill and then Shaw in the 5th. One two coming. High fly to right along the line, but playable. Robinson there for the catch, and 1 away. Nesson is once again looking for the best backyard ballpark in New England. If you think your backyard is in a league of its own, upload a short video of your backyard ballpark to NESSN.com/ballparks. Jerry and I will team up and pick a winner, and if you win, Jerry will host a private party for you and your family and friends in your backyard. This contest is presented in part by Lighthouse Construction. Last year our winners in lovely Rye, New Hampshire. As Hill will take ball 1. He's popped up and flied out 0 for 2. First batter of the night, Mookie Betts hammered a home run to left, his 21st. Red Sox grabbed another run in the 1st inning, but a 2-0 lead is gone, and now they're trailing 4-2. A big shot by Albert Pujols as he crushed a 2-run homer, the 3-0, and that's a strike. Santiago's on the verge of walking his 7th man tonight.
It's amazing, and getting away with it, just like Lincecum did the night before. And these guys are ruining every theory about pitching. They don't get ahead. They walk a ton of guys. You can't walk guys like that and expect to win.
You thought Lincecum got away with it?
Well, he didn't get crushed. Gave up a home run to Bradley there at the end. It was his last pitch. The game was not out of hand when he left the game, that's for sure.
Well, not terribly, but he did take the loss. He went 5+, gave up 4 runs, 5 hits. He walked 6 men, and you know, when you watch him work now, you think it's pretty close to the end of the line for him.
Sure. What was the score? 4-2 when he left?
He did get away with it to some degree. A little pop up into right field coming on Robinson. Long run. And he makes the play and tumbles into foul territory. Made a nice running catch there and nearly lost his footing. But Hill is retired, and there are 2 down. Stay right here after the 3rd out of this inning for a special behind-the-scenes look at what happens in between innings. And that'll be in a road park here in Anaheim, where there's a whole lot of red.
A lot of it Red Sox.
And plenty of Sox fans here. They've been frustrated just like the men in uniform. Travis Shaw has walked twice. And lays off the first one for ball 1.
Obviously, it's been a frustrating game for the Red Sox offense with all the things that we've talked about, with all the walks and the opportunities. The Red Sox lineup takes on a different feel, doesn't it, when Ortiz is out of it?
That's a great point. He is available to pinch hit, but not starting tonight. Scheduled rest night for David. And the Sox down 2, getting into the middle innings. And now Shaw will ask for time and get it from Joe West. This is the 118th pitch of the game for Santiago in the 5th inning. So this will be it for him, no matter what happens the rest of the night. He is not going to go beyond this inning.
You would think not. Tons of pitches. Starting to get the feeling too that the Red Sox might have to climb back into this game by stringing some hits together, not by jumping the yard.
1-2, a little dribbler, and he picks it up in fair ground, gunning to first base. Bandy. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox. That means Santiago can actually qualify for a win. Don't go anywhere as we stay in the park.
Serving our great nation has truly been the greatest honor of my life, but life after the war was truly devastating. I'm lucky to have my life back, and home base gave me that gift.
And somewhere out there, there's a mother, father, sister, brother that has a military family member that needs this help.
We come together here. We come together as a community.
By participating in this event, you are all having a direct impact on the lives of our veterans and their families, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless America.
I'm a guy who
the order, and Yunel Escobar is grounded out and walked and scored. Pomeranz has actually been a little bit better than his opponent Hector Santiago tonight, but Santiago has been the fortunate one.
Escobar has been a big boost for this team at the front end of that lineup. An on-base percentage of .367. He's been relatively quiet in this series. Walked and scored, as you mentioned tonight.
2-0 pitch is hammered foul.
Last year for the Angels, the on-base percentage for the leadoff spot was .278. That's not getting your guys on very often.
They were not getting on last night against Rick Porcello. He held the 1 through 4 hitters in their lineup to 1 hit. Fly down the right field line. Is it playable? Betts racing toward the stands and has room to make the play. So Escobar retired. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Adam Pellerin. Adam, thanks. It's right by half a game over Baltimore. They're in first place. Mike Trout, the batter. He has singled and whiffed in this one. 2 for 10 against Pomeranz in his career with a home run.
Wanted to show you that play that Mookie Betts made on Escobar down the line. Look how quickly he gets to the wall. Run as fast as you can to where the trouble is, and then pull yourself up and make the play on the ball instead of drifting all the way over there and being unsure of where you are. Boy, his instincts in the outfield are unbelievable for a guy who hasn't played out there very long.
0-2 to Trout. Sharply hit, bobbled. Pedroia recovers and gets him. 2 down. That's a 4-4-3.
Much more difficult play than it looked, too, because Petey was already there and set up in the backhand. A lot of players, when they go to their backhand, they want to have a little movement. He's already set there and waiting for it. Hit him on the heel of the glove, juggled it a little bit, and then threw him out.
Just one error in his last 48 games. He's going to be right in that conversation again for the Gold Glove. Pujols now, perfect night. He has singled and cracked a 2-run homer, his 20th.
Remember, we talked about his beautiful home runs to left field. I didn't like that one that much. I've been liking his off-field stroke a lot better.
Well, that home run, he joined Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays as the only players to log 20 or more home runs in 15 of their first 16 seasons. On his way to the Hall of Fame. He'll be well attended by his family because he is one of 11 in his family growing up in the Dominican Republic. It's ceremony when he's in 5 years after he retires.
Automatic.
2-2. Red Sox are behind here 4-2 in the 5th inning. They'll have Brents, Leon, and Betts due up in the next inning. And Pomeranz with a 2-2. Fly to center field, not terribly deep. Jackie Bradley will put that away, and they go 1-2-3. Still 4-2 Angels. Red Sox Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. By Hair Cuttery, smart looks, smart prices. And by your New England Audi dealers. A pitching change here for the Angels. Finally, Hector Santiago is out of the game. He can actually win it. 5 innings, 6 walks, and yet he can win it. He threw 119 pitches in 5 innings. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia. Fernando Salas to make an appearance now for the 47th time.
That's, to me, is just brutal pitching. 120 pitches in 5 innings.
And Brock Holtz is going to bat for Bryce Brentz, who struck out twice with the bases loaded. So the Red Sox had golden chances and missed them. It's still only the 6th inning here. Brock hitting .257 with 5 home runs, trying to get something started against a new pitcher and a bullpen that has not been that great.
Well, we were hoping to get deep into this bullpen early in the game. Salas has been pretty good. One of the few guys that goes out there and has been effective. Not scored upon in 7 of his last 8 appearances.
He's a former closer with St. Louis. Is that one a slash foul out of play? Sandy Leon on deck, and then Mookie Betts.
Seemed like there was a period of time where everybody was a closer in St. Louis.
And he was one of them back in 2011. He had 24 saves for the Cardinals. Working in the 6th inning here against the Red Sox. And again, of the 6 men that Santiago walked, only one, Dustin Pedroia, came in to score.
Exactly the same situation that we saw last night with Lincecum. Walked 6, one of them scored.
The only difference is that guy lost, and Santiago can actually win.
Run, run, run.
Simmons will have that, throw him out. So Holt retired in his first at bat. Nesson is proud to support the Men's Warehouse National Suit Drive, which ends tomorrow. When you make a donation of gently used professional clothing at any Men's Warehouse, you help men and women look their best as they re-enter the workforce. It's not too late to donate. Just log on to nationalsuitdrive.com right now. 1 out in the 6th for Sandy Leon, who has struck out looking and singled. Still getting his hits. Hitting .389. Sandy began the season with a hit in his first 5 plate appearances. First Red Sox hitter in history to do that. He really hasn't stopped. He's cooled a little bit, but still getting those hits.
His 3 home runs, 2 of them have come hitting right-handed, just 1 left.
Look at a bunt, but he slices a foul back to the screen. Sandy is one of the better bunters on the ball club.
Got a little over anxious right there. When they're giving you that bunt on the shift, you can just square around, drop it down over there. Nobody's going to get you out because there's nobody over there to get you out.
1-1. Mookie Betts on deck. You know, Mookie said in spring training, I think I'm going to try to bunt more. Drop one down once in a while, you know, pick up 10 or 12 hits. And then he homered on opening day. I think it went right out the window, swing and a miss. And Leon goes down hacking. He strikes out 2 away.
And he's homered 20 times since then to give him 21. Right. So
much for the bunt. He's homered again tonight. Mookie Betts drilling a home run in the 1st inning to start it, but the Red Sox are down 4-2 here in the 6th.
I think the only time Mookie would really consider bunting is when he starts to scuffle. If he's not swinging the bat that well, if he's not getting any hits, maybe bunt to steal one and get himself going again.
Well, he hasn't had many cool spells, that's for sure. Little high ball 1.
First inning, find a pitch you like and drill it.
His 6th leadoff home run this season. 2-0, and the base is empty for the Red Sox as they're down by a pair.
That home run came so quickly in the game. Robbie Ross wasn't even ready to get out there and catch it.
The 2-0. High and tight. So 3-0. Red Sox on the verge of accepting their 7th walk tonight. Pedroia would be next. Taking all the way and right down the chute.
Mookie rarely swings 3-0. He rarely swings at the first pitch. He's got a routine down and it's working for him.
Red Sox looking for a base runner here in the 6th. And the 3-1 pop foul back out of play on a high strike. Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, on the horn again. They're going to have to get a long effort out of their bullpen tonight because Santiago, the starter, who had been so effective coming in, only lasted 5 innings and needed 119 pitches. Here's the 3-2. And another walk.
Wow.
Now, Mookie does not walk very often, but he'll take one here. The 7th one accepted by the Sox tonight. Tomorrow at 2 on a special trade deadline episode of NESN Clubhouse. Joe Kelly shows how to pitch off the mound. And we look back at some notable deadline deals. NESN Clubhouse presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. And Aggie out to the mound here. After Salas just walked Mookie Betts to bring up Dustin Pedroia, who's already walked twice. Indeed, Dustin Pedroia has drawn 5 walks in the last 2 nights.
I'd like to see Betts on the move here. Even down by 2 runs, still fairly early in this game. 10 outs. They still have to give. Get him in scoring position for Petey here with 2 outs. If not, Petey leads off the next inning.
Joe Smith throwing in the bullpen for the Angels. And the Angels clearly thinking along those lines that Betts might be taken off here. 17 thefts.
Now you see how Marte changes how he holds on Mookie Betts, someone who can run.
2 men out. Pedroia on base twice tonight. He has reached in 33 straight games. It is the longest active streak in baseball. His career high is 37. And a 1-0 pitch, runner holding. And a hot shot for a base hit. That's to second. And Pedroia on base for the 3rd time. And the 7th time in the last 2 games. And the Red Sox have something going on for Xander Bogaerts.
Petey's been a walking and hitting machine in the first few games of this series. Sees a pitch he likes on the inner half here. He's going to pull it right into that little 6-hole there.
So the Red Sox trying to rally with 2 down, trailing 4-2. Bogaerts has walked, singled, and struck out tonight. And here comes Socha. So he's going to want Smith here. Bring on another right-hander. And we'll take the break as well. Red Sox have 2 on and 2 out. Baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. And by Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Red Sox trying to rally. They're down 4-2. Salas now out of the ball game, and Joe Smith into the game. Some controversy around Smith's delivery to home plate, and we saw this in game 1, and the Red Sox believe he may be balking.
Well, I thought it was too. I mean, it looked really strange to me when he made a pickoff throw because he has that funny little hesitation. He comes set, and then he does a stutter step. He brings his left foot back a little bit, taps it, and then throws. Well, when he made that pickoff attempt, he brought that foot back a little bit and then made the pickoff. To me, you shouldn't be able to do that. That should be the start of your motion towards home. We'll show you how he does it out of the stretch. And once he picks that left foot up and moves it backwards, that should be the start of his delivery. You cannot be picking guys off after that.
Runners on at first and second for Xander Bogaerts. A walk, a single, a strikeout for Xander tonight. And the first one in there for strike one.
And you see that little stutter step. Here's what he did the other night. See, he started that stutter step and then tried to pick Mookie Betts off and did pick him off. And I think Mookie was fooled by that left foot movement.
He whirls but does not throw to second base, where Mookie Betts is residing. Dustin Pedroia at first. 4-2 the Angels leading it in the 6th inning. And fouled away by Bogaerts, so now he's in the hole 0-2.
I'd like to know what the official discussion is on him. Obviously, the umpires know that he does this. Had to have come to some kind of decision to say, hey, wait a minute. If you're going to do that little stutter step, you can't throw over. Or maybe they've decided, well, you can. To me, you should not be able to.
Joe West, that crew chief, behind home plate in the 0-2. And just outside. Good take there by Bogaerts. Does not help out Smith. Xander with a 12-game hitting streak. 1-2 coming. Rocketed. Oh, nice play by Escobar to scoop that up and get the force play at third base. And that really hurts the Red Sox as Escobar makes a terrific play. And that retires the side. Donuts shows big-time appreciation to loyal fans with great offers and perks. Enroll today at ddperks.com or the Dunkin' Donuts mobile app. Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Marte leading things off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Escobar just made a pick at third base and probably saved a couple of runs.
Yes, he did.
And Brock Holt remaining in the game to play left after hitting for Bryce Brents. Marte pops a foul. The twist back out of play. He's gone 0 for 2 with an RBI to drive in a run. A little ground ball in the 1st inning. So Pomeranz out there for his 6th inning. You're getting Marte, Simmons, and Bandy, which is 4, 5, and 6 for the Angels. Red Sox have now left 10 men on base.
Just a bullet down there at third base. Escobar puts it away with a very nice play. And if Escobar can just hit the ball to Brock Holt in left field, we'll get rid of all the cliches in baseball. Because after you make a great play.
Marte with a cut and miss, and down he goes, strike 3.
See, he didn't do it.
Let's go down to Guerin.
Just a quick update on Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell faced 3 batters in his rehab assignment with Pawtucket today. He threw 17 pitches, 9 of them for strikes. But John Farrell said they have not had any conversations yet as to what the next step could be. But guys, that could be rejoining the team in Seattle.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of talk about that, Guerin. Exactly right, that it would be in Seattle, depending on how he feels tomorrow after that outing.
Yeah, I think it's more about his physical ability to bounce back rather than the results. Obviously, he probably could have thrown more strikes down there, but they're not really looking for that at this point.
Andrelton Simmons, the batter. He has doubled and scored. He's also flied out to center field from the island of Curacao. He played his college baseball about as far away from Curacao as you can get. Western Oklahoma State, where he was a pitcher. And he was clocked at 98 miles an hour as a pitcher.
And he's one of the smoothest, slickest fielding shortstops you're ever going to see.
With an exceptionally good arm. Gold Glover in the National League, and he'll take outside ball 4. So Pomeranz puts him on. Well, only 79 pitches for the left-hander so far tonight. Here comes John Farrell. That's going to do it as he walks a man after striking out Marte. Looks like he's going to want Joe Kelly.
I don't think Pomeranz really wanted to come out of that game.
He's in a position where he can lose it as Joe Kelly is coming on. We'll take a break and be back with more in Anaheim in just a moment. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Red Sox make a pitching change, trailing 4-2 in the 6th inning. Drew Pomeranz pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. He is out of the game after 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. All of the runs earned. The Red Sox, while he was in the game, had several chances to break it open and get more runs, but he gives away to Joe Kelly here, who's now on for the 9th time.
Red Sox have left 10 runners on base during the time Pomeranz was in the game.
There is a man aboard in Simmons, who just took ball 4, and a hitter Jet Bandy, the catcher. He's gone 0 for 2. Kelly regularly hitting 100 miles an hour in his bullpen appearances so far. 101, and that one 96 for ball 1.
Red Sox looking for a double play ball in this situation. Joe Kelly not necessarily a double play guy, doesn't throw a sinking fastball. Might get a nice ground ball out of that breaking ball that he has.
You got Ian Kinsler to fly out, stranding the bases loaded in the 7th inning Tuesday against the Tigers. That one hammered into left field, driving back. Brock Holt on the run, hitting with a warning track, can't get it. Skips up against the fence. Here comes Simmons into third. They're going to wave him around. Bogarts throws it down into the ground and never got it anywhere near home plate. He held on to it too long, I guess, and the run is in to make it 5-2. That was ugly.
I think Bogarts realized that maybe he didn't have that great a chance to throw the guy out at home, and I think he tried to hold on to that ball, and it slipped out of his hands. This ball's hammered. They get a big break by this ball bouncing way up off the wall. It takes a lot more time for Brock Holt to get it back in. By the time they did do that, I think right here he's like, oh, I better just hold it. Didn't have a chance to throw him out, and the ball slipped out of his hands and ran straight into the dirt.
So now 5-2 the Angels. Giavotella now. He's gone 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Back to the Brock Holt attempt. Did he get leather on this?
Nope. Looked a little bit like he maybe pulled back a little bit. Not exactly sure where that wall was.
A man in scoring position. And a huge run out there for the Angels here in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to take a 4-run lead. Pedroia will be right there for the stab. 2 down. And Bandy into third base. On the ground ball to the right side. That'll bring up Gregorio Petit. 5 runs on 7 hits for the Angels. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Red Sox. Finale of this series coming up tomorrow afternoon in a game that will begin at 12:30 local time. Then the Red Sox will head for Seattle for 4 games with the Mariners. Petit has an infield single. He's also struck out. Came in hitting .282. Andrelton Simmons powering in to score. Charged that run to Pomeranz, so he gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3. So certainly not a great outing for the left-hander. He's taken 1 loss, and this one would go to him if it ends like this. I think the hope was coming back to Southern California that might get him going, but he did not pitch terribly well tonight. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Petit. 98 to get it by him. 2-1. Red Sox had been getting excellent starting pitching out here. Price went 8 innings. And Porcello went all the way last night, a complete game, but Pomeranz did not follow that up, nowhere near. 3-1 to count. Bandy leading off third, and the 3-1 coming. And he walks him. Went with a breaking pitch. And that'll put him on the corners. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. Adam Pellerin and Dennis Eckersley will break it all down. You'll hear from Drew Pomeranz and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason. Now 5-2 Angels in an inning. This thing could really get away. And Shane Robinson will climb in. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Hit into a double play his last time up.
I wonder pitch selection there to the number 8 hitter. They throw him a breaking ball on a 3-2 count. A guy who throws 100 miles an hour.
Looped into right field. Here comes Betts sliding, makes a wonderful play on it, and that will retire the side. The Angels do get a run, and now on top 5-2 as we go to the 7th. Well, tomorrow night at 9, catch an all-new dining playbook. Billy and Jenny check out the Boston Harbor Hotel and test their skills at bubble soccer, which Lions is a master of. Dining playbook at Nesson, driven by your New England Chevy dealers.
Undefeated.
On to the 7th inning, 5-2 the Angels, so they made it a whole lot tougher here. As Jackie Bradley leads it off, Smith still on the bump. Jackie hitting 4th tonight. He has struck out looking, walked, and flied to right. Red Sox have accepted a lot of free passes tonight, 7, but only 1 of them have scored. So that has ultimately been very frustrating.
You got to start taking advantage of those walks and of this bullpen. I really don't think this is a game where they're going to get back into it by hitting the long ball. I think they're going to have to string together some hits, become a doubles machine like this team usually is.
Try to hold up, and he did. And Ramirez on deck, and then Aaron Hill knocked back to the screen. Red Sox with only 5 hits against the Angels. into left field, but Petit is there to make the catch. He never looks terribly comfortable out there. He hasn't played much in the outfield, just a couple of games in his whole life, but he made that catch. Get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center at Fenway. The first aid station is located right behind section 12 on the lower concourse. Visit bidmc.org. Now Hanley Ramirez 1 for 3. He drove in a run in the first inning with a base hit to score Pedroia. Red Sox took a quick 2-0 lead against Santiago, who walked 3 men in the first inning, and 6 over 5 innings. The way it started looked like it was going to be a runaway.
Changed quickly.
The 0-1. Red Sox left 3 men on base in the first inning, left the bases loaded, so that could have been a huge first inning. Instead, just 2 runs, left the bases loaded again in the third inning and did not score. Stranded 2 men in the fourth and 2 men last inning. Hanley has been eating up the American League West. He's hit safely in 21 of his last 22 against this division. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think Smith go back to that slider again that he threw Hanley to get to 2 strikes. Hanley's got to stay on it and go the other way.
Didn't offer, and the count 2-2.
Look at the cluster of pitches there in the pitch zone and where they are.
Toronto beat Baltimore 9-1. Tampa Bay knocked off the Yankees 6-3. And that one fouled off the catcher. First place changing hands inside the division earlier today, with Baltimore's 5th consecutive loss, and the Blue Jays are now a half game in front. They are the first place team. Sox 1.5 out at the moment. Aaron Hill on deck. And Smith with a 2-2. Got a piece of it.
Amazing consistency from Smith as far as the 2 pitches that he's thrown him, fastballs and sliders. Every one of them nearly in the same location. If he keeps throwing it there, I just don't think Hanley can pull it successfully. Going the other way is a better option for him.
2-2. And he tried the inside and missed there, so he's running full. Red Sox have taken 7 walks. Everybody has the cell phones going. Look like fireflies tonight. Fastball in there, got him looking, and no argument from Hanley Ramirez. Down he goes on strikes.
Well, they kept going away every time, and then that pitch, wow. Right down the middle, but down in the strike zone. Hanley didn't think it was a strike. Doesn't put up too much of an argument, but certainly didn't want to swing at it.
2 away for Hill, who's gone 0 for 3. He's popped a second fly to center, fly to right. Looking at strike 1 right there at the hollow of the knee. Stephen Wright goes tomorrow, 12-5 going in against the left-hander Tyler Skaggs, before the Red Sox move on to Seattle. This is a 4-game series. That will be a 4-game series.
Yeah, really strange schedule when you see 4 here, 4 in Seattle.
And then 3 against the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine.
You do get to unpack your suitcase, though.
Yes.
You can take everything out of it. You'll be there a while. Of course, you have to put it all back in. Move on.
Well, there is that, Steve. You do have to repack again.
And go to the next spot.
If you want to keep your stuff. 2-2. Fans having some cell phone fun tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how they know when to do it at the same time. A few people just start it and everyone catches on, I guess, huh?
Hot shot backhanded by Escobar across the diamond and gets him. And the Red Sox have a quiet 7th. They go 1-2-3. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Middle of the 7th inning, Red Sox are down 5-2. Our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Pomerantz only went 5 1/3, giving up 5 earned runs. He's on the hook. Mookie Betts has homered. Santiago had an ugly outing, but he can actually win this thing. Albert Pujols with home run number 20. Kelly into his 2nd inning out of the bullpen. Here in the 7th inning, will take on the top of the order and Yunel Escobar. Deep short, backhanded, long throw, popped it up, and in time to get it. What a fine play by Xander Bogaerts for the out.
Very, very nice right there. Pretty good speed down the line. He opts to get some air under this ball. He releases it very quickly. The other option is to turn and throw it into the dirt and hop it over there. See, this one's lofted, but he had enough time because he was so quick from glove to throwing hand.
Sends up Mike Trout, has gone 1 for 3 with a base hit. Albert Pujols on deck, who's already blasted a home run tonight.
Joe Kelly and whoever else decides to come out of that pen has got to limit the damage right now. No more runs. Can't afford to give up any more. 5-2 game.
Base is empty, 1 down. Trout came in hitting .310 with 19 home runs. Having another fine season, the 2014 MVP. In there for a called strike. But he's not going to win it this year, you would think. They're in last place, 13.5 out. Don't appear to be going anywhere.
Didn't Andre Dawson win it on a last place team?
Yeah, that's the outlier, though.
And he was head and shoulders better than anyone that year.
Well, this guy could say that virtually any year in there for a called strike, but it's not going to happen this year.
I tell you, he took a 2-0 fastball right down the middle and was taken the whole time, too. No intentions of swinging.
Seventh inning, 5-2. The Angels have the lead. 99, but he missed with it.
3-2. I think this was my biggest worry when they decided to convert Joe Kelly to a guy in the back end of the bullpen, was would he throw enough strikes to be effective? Because he didn't throw a lot of strikes when he was a starter. What changes?
The payoff pitch to Trout, and he just did miss with that. Looked like a pretty good pitch at 100 miles an hour. Joe wanted it but did not get it. And he walks some time for the Keep It Moving moment, brought to you by Old Dominion.
And it's Albert Pujols who took Drew Pomeranz deep. As soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. He's done that a ton of times in his career.
Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. Pujols has smashed a home run, a 2-run shot. He's also singled. He's 2 for 3. Trout on a dive back in. We'll see if he's off to the races. Only a 3-run advantage here for the Angels. Pujols with over 2,700 hits in his career. So 3,000 not that far away for Albert. So many great years in St. Louis. I mean, off the charts. He had 11 seasons of at least 30 homers and 100 RBIs.
Just mark it down. Start of his Angel career did not get off well. People started to write him off and forget about him, and he has had some really nice seasons lately, including this one.
Bounding ball right to the shortstop. Bogarts to Pedroia, 1 on to first, 2. Red Sox turn the double play, and the side is retired. Still 5-2 Angels as we go to the 8th. Report on today's Pats training camp session. Patriots training in full pads for the first time. That's tonight after the game on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Getting late here. as the Sox are down 5-2 in Game 3 of the series in Anaheim. And the Angels making a couple of changes. Cole Calhoun will come in now and play right field. And Cam Bedrosian is the new pitcher. A right-hander out of Georgia. And the son of Steve Bedrosian, who pitched 14 years in the big leagues and won the 1987 National League Cy Young with the Phillies.
He's got a better arm. This guy throws harder.
This is fascinating when you see the sons of two major leaguers square off, and that's the case right now with Travis Shaw, whose dad was a very successful major league pitcher.
So out of the four of them, you got 3 pitchers and 1 hitter.
And a 1-0 will find the mark at 95, according to Joe West. Travis not too sure. 5 runs, only 7 hits for the Angels, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Red Sox, who have stranded 10. Travis has been 2 of those as he walked twice early in the game. Nobody drove him in. That's right down the middle at 95.
He wanted that one.
And Shane Robinson also a change as he moves from right field over to left field. And Petit takes over at second base for Giavotella. And punch foul out of play. So Mike Scioscia shuffling some pieces to get better defense in the 8th. Trying to protect the 5-2 lead. I'm not sure he should have a 5-2 lead because of the way Hector Santiago pitched, and he had been pitching really well, but he didn't tonight. He hung on for dear life through 5 innings. He walked 6 men, and the Red Sox never really hurt him. And that's cut on and missed. Down he goes on a breaking ball as he strikes out. Tuesday, August 9th is David Ortiz bobblehead night at Fenway. The first 15,000 receive a David Ortiz bobblehead courtesy of WB Mason. For tickets and information, visit redsox.com/promos.
Just too big for Shaw in that situation, leading off an inning. Got to get some base runners, get some base hits instead of trying to jump the yard down 5-2.
Brock Holt came on to hit for Bryce Brentz in the 6th inning, and he grounded out. He stayed in the game to play left field. So 0 for 1 tonight. And the 0-1. And a strike over the inside corner. Sandy Leon on deck. Cut on and missed. That was pretty nasty. It disappeared on Brock Holt. He strikes out.
2 in a row now. Same pitch that Shaw saw down in the dirt, hard down and in to the left-handers. Bottom just falling out of that pitch. When he's throwing mid to upper 90s, and you see that pitch at 84 down in the dirt, hard to lay off of it.
Leon, a bad lefty. He's gone 1 for 3 with a single and struck out twice. Bases empty for the Red Sox. 5-2 Angels in the 8th. Mookie Betts on deck. Started the night with a home run. But the only runs the Sox have scored tonight came in the 1st inning. A called strike. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Plainridge Park Casino. Adam Pellerin and Dennis Eckersley will preview Stephen Wright's start tomorrow with the latest on Craig Kimbrell's rehab status. Coming back from that torn meniscus. Ahead of schedule, too. The 1-1. And that drifted outside.
Seemed like an amazing comeback from that surgery for Kimbrell, if he does indeed join the team up in Seattle.
That's the plan. We'll see how Craig feels tomorrow after his rehab stint. Rocketed for a base hit. He's right on it. Second hit of the ball game for Sandy Leon. He is 2 for 4. And that'll get the inning to Mookie Betts. Let's get down to Garrett Austin.
Thanks, OB. Well, Steve, it's time to vote for the Globies, Boston's biggest sports bash. The Boston sports writers have nominated many of your favorite athletes and sports moments in several categories. You can cast your vote now at theglobies.com. The Globies are presented by Mercedes-Benz. OB, Steve, any special moments for you guys?
Oh, let's see. I would say for me, what Mookie Betts did in Baltimore, the 5 home runs over 2 days.
That's pretty good.
Certainly Hanley Ramirez with 3 home runs in 1 game as well, as Mookie also did at Camden Yards. They're right near the top.
Those are some good moments right there. They'll be on the list.
Mookie with a home run tonight. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. 68 RBIs for Mookie. Second on the club in runs batted in to David Ortiz. Red Sox need another jolt right now. They've been slumbering since the first inning. Lashed foul out of play. Well, Bedrosian can really bring it. 96, 97.
And he's got that wicked breaking ball too. He kind of throws it like a curveball, but throws it hard like a slider, so it's a really tight downward spin. Got Shaw and Holt to swing at it for strike 3. You got to get to this guy before you have 2 strikes.
Here comes the 0-2.
Look at that downer.
Betts staying away. Dustin Pedroia on deck, hoping for a chance to hit in this inning, with Leon on at first.
Slider right here.
Cut on and missed. He struck him out, and his side is retired. He strikes out 3 in the inning. Food available at Men's Warehouse. Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley have the latest news and rumors surrounding the Major League Baseball trade deadline. See just how active the Red Sox are at the deadline. Last half of the 8th inning coming up. Kelly still on the hill.
Or before. You never know.
Yes. They're not compelled to deal right at the deadline. It's a base hit right over second. Off the bat of Jeffrey Marte, so he's on to start the 8th. And it'll be Andrelton Simmons to step in next. It has been Dave Dombrowski's reputation to make deals at the deadline, and big deals. As Tommy Lane loosens in the pen. All comes down to what the asking price is.
Sometimes the asking price is very, very big, and you have to make that decision. You want a proven player at the major league level, or do you want to wait for your prospects that sometimes don't pan out, and sometimes they pan out huge?
Simmons has doubled and walked. He has also scored each time he's been on. That was a little dangerous by Marte, kind of skipping on top of the base. You leave your feet, he has the tag on you, you're out. Five to 2 Angels, 8th inning. The Sox will have due up in the 9th. Pedroia, Bogarts, and Bradley. And David Ortiz is available to pinch hit tonight. John Farrell said before the game, even though it's an off night for Big Papi. David honored by the Angels before game 1 of the series. He'll be honored in Seattle as well, and we think in Los Angeles when the Sox come back to play the Dodgers on this road trip.
Yep.
Kelly with a 1-0. Foul at the plate.
You would think the way the lineup sets up right now that Big Papi would probably hit 4th if he gets that opportunity.
CVS Health is a proud supporter of Stand Up to Cancer. We invite you to share your hashtag reasons right now. Stand Up to Cancer and tag at CBS in action. A ball, a strike on the talented Simmons, who has been one of their hotter hitters in recent days as well. Here's the 1-1 from Kelly. 1-2. Five runs on 8 hits for the Angels. They've left 4. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Red Sox, who have left 11. Right now, that's the story of the night. All those base runners stranded for Boston.
Early and often.
1-2 too high. Throw down to first will not get him. So 2-2 on Simmons. Former Atlanta Brave. Quite a few guys these days who can say I was a former Atlanta Brave. Kind of scattered everywhere now.
Yes, everyone is.
You wonder if Atlanta will be active at the deadline.
Scattering more people.
They lost to the Phillies 9-5. 2-2 foul back, and they traded for Matt Kemp today. But I think the more fascinating part of that particular game was the Phillies brought up 9 guys in 1 inning in that game, and not one of them in that inning got a hit.
Oh man,
that is hard to do. Houston streak going in their bullpen. And a 2-2 to Simmons. Good breaking ball, and he struck him out. Caught him looking. Best pitch of the night so far for Kelly. That froze him.
You know, Matt Kemp gets the opportunity to get out of San Diego, big ballpark, but what the heck does Atlanta have an interest in Kemp for? Nice breaking ball right there for the strike 3.
I'm not sure.
It's the strangest trade ever.
Yep.
Except for that gets Matt Kemp maybe a little closer to home.
So here's Bandy, who's gone 1 for 3 with a double that scored a run in the 6th inning. Only 1 away and a runner at first base. The Tigers won again. 3-2 they beat Houston. They're playing some good baseball right now. Red Sox can attest to that. Kind of climbing back in things. 99, a swing and a miss for a strike.
Blew that one by him.
Detroit has now won 5 in a row. Cleveland won, so they remain 4.5 out, but they're very much in it.
A lot of games left to be played. You're around 5 games out. That's not that much if you're playing good baseball. If you're floundering, you're going to be in trouble. But if you're doing what Detroit's doing right now, you got to be happy about it.
Got a piece of that one. Another one at 99 and count 0-2. One man out. And we understand that on Jonathan Lucroy, there are reports that he has, or the teams have agreed to trade Lucroy from Milwaukee to Cleveland, but he must approve the trade because that's one of 8 teams on his list that he had to agree to be traded to. 0-2, socked to center field. Jackie Bradley right there for the out, and there are 2 gone. So the wheels are starting to turn.
Yeah.
Around baseball right before the deadline. Have you heard of Nesson's new automotive website? Give it a visit at nessonfuel.com. Everything you're looking for in the world of auto racing, car culture, and automotive lifestyle. Now Kelly coming out of the game now as John Farrell will make the move with Gio Vitella. Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. TC and Dennis Eckersley preview Stephen Wright's start tomorrow against the Angels. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Out of the bullpen comes Tommy Lane. He's 0-1, a 3.81 ERA in 33 appearances. Usually keeps the ball in the ballpark. In fact, only 1 home run against Tommy in 2016. Facing a home run hitter right here in Calhoun. Is hit 10, runner at first base and 2 down. Bottom of the 8th, 5-2 the Angels. So Kelly leaving behind a base runner. And the first one across for a strike.
Got nobody up in the pen behind Tommy Lane, so his job is to step up here, get Calhoun out, get the inning over with. You got to figure he's going to go lots of sliders down and away from Calhoun now. Get ahead first and slider, slider, slider. There's one of them.
0-2 to count.
I'd go right back to that pitch, wouldn't you?
Well, if you're going to get that much of the corner.
Yeah, tough pitch to hit. Pretty good tilt on that pitch from Tommy Lane. Comes from one side all the way to the other side of the plate.
2 and outside, saved by Sandy Leon. Again, the Red Sox have up Pedroia, Bogaerts, Bradley, trailing by 3 at the moment, and they hope it's still 3 and not more than that when we go to the 9th inning. The winner of this game takes a 2-1 lead in the series, which will end tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 Eastern time. And the Red Sox board the charter and head for Seattle.
Red Sox most likely will see Houston Street for the first time in this series.
He's all warmed up. Runner goes, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So down he goes to retire the side. Red Sox coming up, needing 3 to tie as we go to the 9th. Rally here in the 9th inning because they trail 5-2. Sox have been held to 6 hits and left 11 men on base tonight. They had some great chances early. Not as many late in the game to score runs. And now comes Houston Street, the 32-year-old out of Austin, Texas. Makes his 25th appearance, 3-1, a 479 earned run average. And he does have 8 saves.
Street's been giving up a ton of hits this year. 27 hits in 20 2/3 innings.
They'll take on Dustin Pedroia, Xander Bogaerts, and Jackie Bradley Jr. And if there are a couple of base runners at some point, maybe, just maybe, David Ortiz, who is available as a pinch hitter. Pedroia has already been on base 3 times tonight. Dustin with a pair of walks and a single. He walked 3 times last night and single.
Street, another one of those closers that's had to reinvent himself a little bit. Doesn't have the velocity that he used to have.
Fouled out of play. He was an outstanding pitcher at the University of Texas in his college days, leading the Longhorns to 3 consecutive College World Series championship games against South Carolina as well. His late father James was a star quarterback at Texas, winning 20 in a row at one point and leading them to a national championship. Poke foul out of play.
Street has always had so much movement in his delivery. Starts his windup, he steps almost all the way across and off the rubber before he goes into his delivery and throws the ball. He'll start there, but he's not going to end right there.
0-2 and just missed the corner. Red Sox need base runners in the 9th inning. Pedroia's batting clip up to 305. Toward the hole, knocked down by Marte. He'll scoop and close play, but got him at first base on the underhand toss, with Houston Street getting there in time. Now John Farrell is up on the top step.
That was just a fantastic play.
And he's not going to challenge it.
Yeah, I don't. Petey went into the dive right here. It looks like he's easily out there.
Well, giving it a great effort, but he is out.
Ball was almost by Marte before he snagged it and made the play on it.
Brings up Xander Bogaerts, who is 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. 9th inning, 1 away, 5-2 Angels. He'll take ball 1.
Get a couple guys on and a big poppy appearance.
The 1-0 from Street. A little bit high. So 2-0 on Xander. He ran his hitting streak to 12 in a row. The base hit way back in the 3rd. Red Sox led 2-0 after a half inning. 2-1 going to the 3rd inning, but they have been fighting from behind ever since. That's a strike. Not many hits in this one. Just 6 for the Sox and 8 for the Angels. Two and 2.
Good off-speed pitch there from Street. You'll see Bogey out on his front foot too often, but he got fooled by this one. Bottom will drop out of it. Bogey just out there in front looking for something hard.
83. Here's the 2-2 coming. And he popped him up into right field. Petit out, and he'll take it. 2 down. So the Sox are down to Jackie Bradley, who does not have a hit tonight. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. A lot of frustration tonight for the Red Sox with 11 men left. Left them loaded in the 1st, left them loaded in the 3rd.
1 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. That is a ton of opportunities and a lot of futility.
And strike 1 on JBJ. Batting cleanup for the first time in his career tonight. Hanley Ramirez has come to the on deck area. Base is empty, and the 0-1. Bounced up there. A ball and a strike on Bradley. Jackie just 1 out of 11 in the series. Although the 1 is a home run. He hit that last night. And Street with a 1-1. Got a piece of it. And a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Pretty good cut, but he fouled it back, and the Red Sox are down to their last strike.
Probably that breaking ball.
1-2, and it is in there for strike 3. It did go to the breaking ball, and that's it. This one in the loss column tonight. 5-2 the final score. And the Red Sox will look back at the early innings when they had golden opportunities to break it open after grabbing a 2-0 lead and wind up losing tonight 5-2. Adams stranding 11, and that really hurt.